stupid fucking bullshit.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be discussing my least favorite TCAP pedophile by the name of Lorne Armstrong. I wanted to talk about the Ramona saga because I think this and the Debbie saga highlight who he really is in terms of aggressiveness, abusiveness, and anger. He and Winnie traded it back and forth, but I think Ramona, who by all accounts is very sweet and smart and friendly, I think this highlighted how insane Lorne is. He never really graduated past the 7th grade, 8th grade argument when someone said, "Lorne, you're always doing this." And Lorne would go, "Yeah, well, you're doing this, which causes me to do this." And he doesn't listen. He just keeps talking over them with the same points over and over. Goes into that Lorne vortex. He doesn't really care what they have to say. He just wants to get out what's been in his head for the past couple of hours. He talks about quality time with Ramona, but he spends most of his time screaming, yelling, abusing, and then talks about we don't have the closeness we used to have. I like spending time with you. God, it goes into virgin territory, but we're just going to let that one go. Example is when she hurt her knee, and she spent 3 hours working on it. She spent 3 hours working on getting things lined up for the surgery. Now, if I was in a relationship with someone who sounded like she was put together well in terms of financially, emotionally, and stability, and by her own admission, I don't know if Lorne ever saw a picture, but she's supposed to be beautiful. Doesn't matter. The way she treated Lorne on the phone, she could have been a hideous witch with warts all over her face, and I would still consider her beautiful because she put up with so much from this douchebag. He just kept circling back to the same points, and any time she would try to answer and use something as an example, you'd hear, no, 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 we're going to go back to this. And it was just maddening. And then he would ask her, "What were you doing?" And the example of that is she sounded tired one day. And Lorne lost his mind and was certain and took it as fact that she had spent all goddamn night on the internet talking to God knows who. And don't tell me you weren't. I want you to be honest with me. So right off the bat, in his head, you see how it works. This is what I thought you were doing. This is what I know you're doing. Don't lie to me and tell me what I don't expect to hear. It's pretty scary. It's Gestapo questioning. Where were you on the night of the 5th? Well, I was walking down the street and I waved at a one-way slap. Don't lie to me. Tell me the truth. Even if you are telling the truth, you can't win. He spends his entire time with her, isolating her. Wants to take her away from her grandma, from the doctor, from the therapist, from her brother, from Emma, from anybody. He wants just her. And that is what an abuser does. They isolate them so that they can't ever speak about the abuse they are suffering. What really scares me about this douchebag, if you are ever in a relationship and you wake up every morning to a text that says good morning, and it's at the precise moment they wake up, run. Some people might say, "Oh, well, I think it's sweet." No, it's not. It's a warning sign. It's a warning sign that their entire life revolves around you. And I've said this before. I will never, ever get with a woman whose entire life revolves around her kids. Her focus should be her kids. But if that's her only focus, you have no chance of a relationship whatsoever. And with Lorne, she's all he has. Because without her, he sits around his trailer all day, staring at the walls, counting the time. He drives truck. And if she doesn't call him or text him Every second of every day, she must be cheating on him, which goes into virgin territory again. He says something over and over that drives me crazy, and you guys know what I'm talking about. I gave you my all. I gave you all my trust. I told you everything. I didn't hold anything back. I love you, and then his legendary, 'cause I believe in you, which he doesn't have a definition for. Lorne does all of this, claims he loves her, and then who are you talking to? You weren't watching TV, and then right from who were you talking to? You weren't watching TV, that damn doctor, do you care about me? Or I am a pedophile. Then immediately jumps into, are you working for Nathaniel? How did you get to know Emma? And then he starts talking about restrictions because Lorne can't focus. And with the restrictions, he starts screaming, don't you ever say the word restriction to me again. And Ramona keeps trying to remind him why she put those in place. It's because of how psycho he was and how he would call hundreds of times, or whatever, she texted hundreds of times during the night, call 20, 30 times while she's sleeping, because he has nothing going on except for her. That's it. And I told you that I know you were tired because I could hear it in your voice, so who were you up all night with? That is mortifying. I could hear that you were tired in your voice. So I know you were up all night, and I know you were talking to some other guy. Who was it? Do you remember this conversation if you've heard it? Tell me, Ramona, tell me. No, don't get away from it. Tell me. He was really aggressive. She even said, well, how do you know the doctor isn't having sex with me right now? I'm not going to say the specific thing. And she would say something to that effect, and Lorne would go, are they? Are they having sex with you right now? How do I know? This is the mindset of this freak. She would call him out for abuse. And he would say, you're abusing me because you're not calling me. You're not texting me. You're speaking to someone else on the phone, and you're not paying attention to me. You're not texting while you're on the phone. Anything that inconveniences him. He refuses to admit to his abusiveness. He refuses. And that is terrifying. He monitors every second of every day of Ramona's time. And he knows if she tells him she has a meeting at 5 and it's going to take a half hour, he will call her at 5:31 or 5:35 max. And then when she doesn't answer, he doesn't understand that business meetings can go over the time they're allotted. He just doesn't get it. If she doesn't respond quick enough, look out, folks. Mount Vesuvius will explode. There was one time he texted her, this is his life. He's drinking with Tony and Wendy. And he texted her, Tony and Wendy say hi. Excuse me. And he didn't text back quick enough, and he went nuts because she didn't say hi to his friends, who she quickly called out, uses him for beer. He was furious that she spent a certain amount of time on medical things, taking care of medical things. He was angry because he didn't think it should take that long. He complained about the length of her surgery. Imaginary, by the way. But he complained that it shouldn't have taken 4 hours. He doesn't understand complications or anything that doesn't inconvenience him. Eventually, Ramona gets to the crux, the root of the problem. And that was in the 1990s. And let me tell you something. This right here is what really woke me up to Lorne Armstrong. In the 1990s, some chick named Paula supposedly cheated on him. Now, I always thought they were in a relationship, but he admitted, well, we weren't in a relationship, we were headed to a relationship. How do you define headed to a relationship, and how do you consider cheating on somebody if you're quote-unquote headed to a relationship? Think about that. In his head, Julie from Circle K or April or whoever from Walmart, all of these girls probably asked him, paper or plastic? Which pump are you on? And in Lorne's head, he heard, we're headed towards a relationship. I got him. I hooked him. It's really, really scary. It's scary. He threatens, he yells, he curses. He goes ballistic, abuses her, and says, if this keeps up, Ramona, we are going to have serious issues. Well, I got news for you, Lorne. Yelling, screaming, abusing, that's serious issues. I guarantee you, he was jealous of a 10-year-old kid. And he would be jealous of a broomstick with a penis if it came around her. If she had a gynecologist, he would be furious that it was a man, because he thinks that these doctors walk around with hard-ons all day. This is proof. This is more proof the dude's a virgin. He doesn't understand anything to do with women. None. And I'm working on that video. But I just wanted to jump into part of the Ramona calls and why I consider him so dangerous and so frustrating. I love you guys. Please like, subscribe, and share. And I promise you I'll put out more Lorne Armstrong content. I really hate this dude.
Stupid fucking bullshit.